Hey everybody, welcome to today's session. Selamat datang semuanya ke sesi kita hari ini. Today we're really going to be talking about how you're going to make sure that you do what you need to do to achieve what you want to achieve. So let's get started, okay? As usual, I'm just going to share with you some of the common problems that people face when it comes to realizing their goals or having created a plan. How do we make sure that we follow through on the plan? Jadi saya akan sharing dulu sekarang mungkin beberapa tantangan yang sering dihadapi, yang sering kita lihat ya, yang dihadapi oleh orang saat sesudah menciptakan sebuah rencana, kita udah jelas plannya apa yang mau kita capai, targetnya. Bagaimana kita bisa memastikan kita melakukan apa yang perlu kita lakukan. So here's some of the common challenge. Number one is I think a lot of people are sort of in reactive mode each day. Jadi yang pertama mungkin banyak orang bekerja atau hidup dalam mode reaktif. So, in the example of a game of pool, most people are just the numbered balls. So, when you get hit a certain way, then you're going to move a certain way. When life puts you in a different situation, then you're going to react differently. The next common situation is that a lot of people, tend to procrastinate or wait before you do the important things. Jadi banyak orang menghindari atau menunda hal-hal yang benar-benar penting untuk hal yang lain, right? So you know that there's this important email you need to send, or there's things that are outside of your comfort zone, then you come up with excuses to not do them yet. Jadi the third most common problem is that a lot of people tend to want to plan for perfection. We want to get things right first before we send it out. We need to get the email to be perfect before we hit the send button. We need to have the proposal to be perfect before we can have a meeting with someone. Ya, jadi banyak orang meluangkan terlalu banyak waktu untuk menciptakan sesuatu yang perfect sebelum kita bisa mengeluarkannya ke dunia kayak gitu. So if you have all these three things ya. Jadi kalau Anda tiga-tiganya ini muncul di hidup Anda atau salah satu dari tiganya aja, then you kind of end up having a accidental life where you just sort of in this hamster wheel, you're going through the motions, and then situation dictates you to move a little bit to the left, you'll move to the left, or situation tells you to move to the right, you'll move to the right, all in the name of creating some money and creating some wealth. If you have those three things, let's look at some of the opportunities that you will have. Ya, jadi kalau Anda merasa itu ada tantangan untuk Anda, mari kita lihat sekarang peluangnya apa saja. So the first one, instead of being reactive, you want to be proactive. So instead of being the numbered balls, you want to be the white ball and you want to be the cue stick. You want to be able to determine where you want to go. You want to make sure that you are putting the right balls in the right places so that you can win your game. We're just going to be clear what games we're playing, and we're making sure that we're taking the right steps each day to win our game. The next thing is that you got to make sure that we eat the frog, right? So there's a great book called Eat the Frog, which means you don't have to eat an actual frog, but you have to do the things you don't like the most, or the things that make you the most uncomfortable but are good for you early in the day. You want to get it out of the way, kind of like exercising. You want to make sure you get your exercise out of the way so you know that for the rest of the day your body is ready for action, right? And what is that thing in your business? What is that frog in your business that you need to make sure you do each day? So you get it out of the way, and then you can spend the rest of your day doing what you need to do. You can be reactive because you've done the proactive thing early in the day. Okay. The third thing would be you got to adjust for mastery. Instead of planning for perfection, we want to execute and then adjust our execution to achieve mastery. Ya, jadi hal yang ketiga, bukannya kita ingin menciptakan sebuah plan yang perfect, kita tapi pengen punya plan yang cukup baik sehingga kita bisa eksekusi. Lalu setiap saat kita pengen eksekusinya kita tingkatkan lagi sehingga kita bisa achieve a level of mastery. If you can do these three things, then you can really lead an intentional life. You can manifest what you want to have in your life. Of course, God or the universe may have other plans for us, but at least we know we're doing what it takes to get us to where we want to go. So these are the key things to achieve an intentional life. What resonates with you the most out of these three things? Ya, apa yang menurut Anda dari ini yang kita sharing so far ini merasa paling penting untuk Anda? Okay, so now I'm going to show you the key principles, and then we'll get to do a bit of work to help you um, get clear on what it is you have to do and set up your daily games. Okay, so jadi kita akan sharing sedikit key principles, lalu kita masuk ke workshop kita. So, all right, so the first thing we have to remember is that if we want to be intentional in our lives, we have to have clarity to know what we want. And if you can't, then you start with what don't you want. Ya, jadi kita harus punya kejelasan dulu di hidup kita nih sebetulnya apa saja sih yang kita inginkan. Kalau susah mendapatkan kejelasan itu, kita mulain dari apa saja sih yang tidak kita inginkan dari hidup kita, right? And you want to think about this in terms of your business or your career, in terms of your family, in terms of your personal growth. Ya, jadi Anda ingin memikirkan ini dari sudut pandang bisnis Anda atau karir Anda, dari sudut pandang keluarga Anda, dan juga tentang perkembangan diri Anda sendiri. We have another training that helps you create a more holistic goal setting. I would recommend that you check that out. Ya, jadi kalau Anda pengen bikin rencana hidup yang lebih clear lagi, Anda perlu melihat training kami yang lain yang khusus tentang goal setting di situ. But you know, big picture, most entrepreneurs will be more concerned about their business growth, their family, and technically themselves, right? Your health, your wealth, so that you can do what you need to do in your business. Ya, jadi sebagai entrepreneur tentunya 3 hal ini yang paling penting untuk kita: business, family, and personal. So the next component that you're going to need to be clear on as well is that you need to know where you are now. If we already know where we want to go, we need to then be real with ourselves as to where are we now. We got to step on the scale to know how much we weigh now, how much, what percentage body fat we have now, so that we know what goals, how far we have to go to our goals. Ya, jadi kalau kita udah tahu kita mau kemana, kita harus tahu sekarang benar-benar sekarang kita ada di mana sih. Kita harus bisa jujur dengan diri sendiri. Kita perlu naik di timbangannya untuk benar-benar melihat berat badan kita, body fat kita berapa, supaya kita punya baseline untuk mengetahui seberapa jauh kita dari target kita. So here you need to know what to measure. What are you currently measuring? What are you currently not measuring that you need to start measuring? Ya, jadi kita harus tahu apa aja sih yang sekarang kita ukur dan apalagi yang sebetulnya perlu kita ukur untuk mengetahui situasi kita ada di mana, mau kemana, dan pergerakan kita tuh seberapa banyak, right? So we need to know where we want to go, where we are now, and what our progress is going to look like by having those measures. The third thing, hal yang ketiga adalah, you gotta know yourself. Ya, kita harus mengetahui diri kita sendiri. You're gonna need to look yourself in the mirror, be brutally honest. Ya, jadi kita harus bisa melihat diri kita di cermin, benar-benar jujur ke diri sendiri, and think about what inside us could prevent us from achieving that goal. What inside us could prevent us from doing the things we know we should do in order to achieve our goals. Ya, jadi kita harus benar-benar bisa jujur sama diri kita sendiri untuk melihat apa sih yang di dalam diri kita yang bisa menghambat kita melakukan hal yang kita perlu lakukan untuk kita bisa mencapai goals kita. Right? These are the internal obstacles that we have to overcome. The external obstacles tend to be a lot of logic. The internal obstacles would be a lot to do with your mindset and the illogical things in your life. Ya, jadi tantangan-tantangan yang sifatnya eksternal biasanya tuh cukup logis sifatnya. Dan mungkin banyak dari itu yang tidak 100% dikendali kita. Tapi kalau tantangan internalnya ini adalah yang biasanya berhubungan dengan psikologi kita atau mindset kita yang lebih banyak kendali yang kita miliki untuk dari sini. Dan ini sebetulnya juga perannya lebih besar untuk menghambat kita. Right? So you really need to be clear on what tendencies that you have and what beliefs that you have that could actually prevent you from doing the necessary actions. Ya, jadi kita harus bisa mengetahui keyakinan-keyakinan apa aja sih yang bisa mensabotase kita, dan kebiasaan-kebiasaan apa juga yang bisa mensabotase kita untuk melakukan apa yang perlu kita lakukan. Okay? The next thing is then basically you just gotta master your math and your psychology. Ya, yang berikutnya kita harus bisa menguasai matematika kita dan psikologi kita. So we mentioned about the internal challenges that could prevent us. Then we need to start thinking about what are the things that we have to do on a regular basis so that we can overcome our internal mental challenges. Ya, our mindset challenges. Jadi tadi kita udah menyebutkan tentang tantangan-tantangan internal yang kita miliki. Kita juga harus mengetahui secara rutin nih apa sih yang perlu kita lakukan supaya kita bisa mengalahkan tantangan-tantangan internal kita. Okay, that's the psychology. And then on the math, what are the simple logical things that we have to do on a regular basis to get us closer to the goals? Ya, jadi kalau dari sisi matematikanya kita tinggal mikirin secara rutin apa aja sih yang perlu kita lakukan secara logis juga untuk memastikan kita mencapai target kita. So let's say if the goal is to get fit, lose a certain amount of weight, achieve a certain body weight target, body fat target, then your math will be making sure that you're eating right each day, making sure that you're exercising each day. Right? Jadi kalau misalnya goal kita adalah kita pengen mencapai berat badan tertentu, body fat percentage tertentu, berarti matematikanya kita adalah memastikan kita melakukan olahraga yang cukup setiap harinya dan makan yang sesuai setiap harinya. Okay? When it comes to business, then you gotta know what's your magic math numbers. Is it making an offer each day? Is it talking to the right people each day? Ya, jadi kalau dari sisi bisnis, Anda juga harus mengetahui matematikanya apa nih. Apakah memberikan sebuah penawaran setiap hari? Apakah ngobrol sama orang-orang yang tepat setiap hari? It depends on your goals, depends on your positions. Okay, tergantung dari goal Anda, tergantung dari peran Anda. And then the final thing is, Jerry Seinfeld, the American comedian, he had this thing about writing a joke every single day to build his habit. And his thing was that he would draw a piece of chain every time he would write a joke, and then he doesn't want to break a chain. Each day he wants to create a link so that he has this habit of building the muscle that he needs the most to get him the success that he wants to get. So jadi ini ceritanya dari ada komedian Amerika namanya Jerry Seinfeld. Dia punya kebiasaan untuk dia ingin menciptakan kebiasaan untuk menulis sebuah joke gitu setiap harinya. Dan setiap kali dia melakukan itu, dia gambar rantai atau lingkaran gitu untuk mensimbolisasikan rantainya ini yang dia mau ciptakan. Dan dia ingin memastikan setiap hari melakukan itu supaya nggak putus talinya. Right? So if you're doing like Duolingo, if you're learning a language on Duolingo, they're very big on streaks, how many days in a row you can do that, right? Jadi kalau Anda pernah menggunakan Duolingo untuk belajar bahasa, mereka benar-benar mendorong daily streaks. Jadi berapa hari berturut-turut Anda bisa belajar bahasanya itu. The same with our success habits. The more we do it, the easier it becomes. The better we will be. The more we will achieve that level of mastery. Okay? Sama juga dengan kebiasaan sukses yang kita ingin bangun. Lebih sering kita melakukannya, lebih mudah untuk kita melakukannya, dan lebih mahir juga kita akan melakukan hal itu sehingga kita bisa bermain di level yang lebih tinggi lagi. Okay? So those are the 5 key things. I'd like you to reflect a little bit and write down in the chat, what are the things that you feel you need to spend most time on? Okay, jadi saya pengen Anda menulis di chat box sambil merenungkan juga dari 5 hal tadi. Kira-kira yang mana yang paling penting untuk Anda benar-benar lakukan? Okay.